Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be covering the new patch notes released for Helldivers 2, which goes over balance changes to weapons, stratagems, and enemies, as well as general fixes and other updates. If that all sounds good and you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to help continue to grow the channel and help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers. With that being said, let's get into the patch notes. So to start things off, we are on patch 1.000.300, which was made available on Monday, April 29th, 2024 at 5 a.m. EDT. They start off by saying the following. Patch dispatch from High Command. For this patch, we bring you a number of adjustments, fixes, and improvements to aid your democratic endeavors. Overview. For this patch, we have made improvements and changes to the following areas. Balance changes to weapons, stratagems, and enemies. Change to the spread democracy mission. Balancing. General. Armors with armor rating above 100 now also reduce damage on headshots. Victory poses will now only play for the extracted. No stolen valor on my ship. Burning damage reduced by 15%. Primary, secondary, and support weapons. CB9 exploding crossbow. Slightly smaller explosion. Increased stagger. Decreased number of maximum mags from 12 to 8. Increased number of magazines received from resupply from 6 to 8. Slight reduction in ergonomics. Muzzle velocity increased. Lost 99 quasar cannon. Increased recharge time by 5 seconds. BR-14 adjudicator. Full auto is now the default fire mode. Reduced recoil. Increased maximum mags from 6 to 8. Increased number of magazines received from resupply from 6 to 8. Now placed amongst assault rifles. Lost 98 laser cannon. Slightly increased damage. Slightly reduced damage versus large volume bodies. SG-8P Punisher Plasma. Decreased maximum mags from 12 to 8. Increased amount of magazines received from resupply from 6 to 8. Increased projectile speed, but will still keep a similar range. Decreased damage fall off on the explosion. Now placed in the energy weapons category. ARC-12 Blitzer. Increased shots per minute from 30 to 45. Now placed in the energy weapons category. R-36 Eruptor. Decreased number of maximum mags from 12 to 6. Explosion damage drops off slightly faster. Lost 16 sickle. Decreased amount of magazines from 6 down to 3. Lost 5 scythe. Increased damage from 300 to 350. Decreased max number of mags from 6 down to 4. RS-422 railgun. Increased armor penetration in both safe mode and unsafe mode. Stagger force slightly reduced. MG-101 heavy machine gun. Third person crosshair enabled. 63 CS diligence counter sniper. Damage increased from 128 to 140. Ergonomics improved. R63 diligence. Damage increased from 112 to 125. P19 Redeemer. Slight increase in recoil. P2 Peacemaker. Increased damage from 60 to 75. P8 Senator. Increased damage from 150 to 175. Speed loader added when reloading on an empty cylinder speeds up reload on empty considerably. Lost 7 dagger. Increased damage from 150 to 200. R19 Liberator. Damage increased from 55 to 60. AR-23C Liberator Concussive. Damage increased from 55 to 65. JAR 5 Dominator. Damage decreased from 300 to 275. AXR-23 Guard Dog. Decreased damage by 30%. RL-77 Airburst Rocket Launcher. Airburst rocket launcher will no longer detonate when shot near stratagems HMG turret, sentries, resupplies, and other Helldivers. Reduced proximity radius. Stratagems. AM-43 machine gun sentry. Increased health to match other sentries. Arc 3 Tesla tower. Increased health by 33%. FAF-14 spear. Added reload stage reload after the spent missile had been discarded. RL-77 airburst rocket launcher. List. Enemies. Bile spewer and nursing spewers move speed slightly reduced. Hulks. Force required for them to stagger slightly increased. Hulk Scorcher direct flamethrower damage reduced by 20%. Devastator fire rate slightly increased, only the standard Devastator. Gunship sideways movement slightly increased. Scout Strider Riders now less vulnerable to explosions. Fog Generators health and armor increased. Gunship spawners now have a much lower cap on how many gunships they can have active at the same time. Enemy patrols. Patrol spawning has been increased when there are fewer than 4 players. The fewer the players, the bigger the change. For 4-player missions, there will be no change compared to before. The biggest noticeable change will be for solo players at higher difficulties. Gameplay. Made minor level generation improvements to how we distribute locations throughout the mission map. This should improve variation in distance between objectives, and objectives will likely not spawn as far away from each other as often as before. Added setting in the options menu gameplay section to disable automatic climbing and vaulting while sprinting. The Spread Democracy mission, otherwise known as Raise the Flag, can now be enjoyed on higher difficulties for maximum freedom spreading. When readying up, Helldivers now salute to ensure maximum democratic readiness. Added ambience to the Tremor Planetary hazard to underline the severity so Helldivers can react accordingly. Shots that ricochet from heavy armored enemies will now properly hit the Helldiver who fired them. Trigger discipline is highly recommended. Fixes. Crash fixes. Fix crash that could occur when host abandoned mission with squad. Fix crash that could occur if a player tried to enter an occupied XO-45 Patriot suit. Fix crash that could occur for all players after or during mission results screen. Fix crash that could occur after shooting from the XO-45 Patriot suit's rocket launcher. Fix crash that could occur for all players apart from the one that rejoined the ongoing mission with different armor and got reinforced. Fix superior packing methodology ship module not working properly. Fix blast absorption ship module so that it correctly increases sentries' resistance to explosions. Fixed issue where players could not navigate to the search results in the social menu. Fixed some issues where items equipped in a warbond were not actually equipped. Fixed an exploit that allowed overly eager Helldivers to use grenades excessively. Fixed issue where kills from orbital barrage did not progress indirect fire exercise order. Fixed issue that allowed traders to try to sabotage the extraction shuttle by deploying sentry stratagems below it. Fixed issue where ion storms incorrectly prevented extraction beacon from deploying. Fixed some stratagem beams using incorrect color coding. Fixed issue where the left stick on a controller could not be used to navigate the social menu. Fixed some issues where various UI elements were cut off-centered or too close to the edge of the screen on ultra-wide displays. Fixed anti-material rifle facing away from the Helldiver after deploying it. Fixed bug where player could duplicate rounds by canceling the reload of anti-material rifle at a specific time. Fixed bug where anti-material rifle would consume an extra magazine after a cancelled reload. Fixed bug where recoilless rifle would consume an extra shell from the backpack if the reload was cancelled just after a shell was inserted, but before the reload was completed. Fixed issue where the sickle and quasar cannon could not shoot through foliage. Fixed several issues where weapon thumbnails would disappear when scrolling through armory. Fixed issues where automaton gunships sometimes could not see the player. Fixed incorrect collision being left over after destroying automaton bunkers or detector towers with hell bombs. Fixed issue where hell bombs would not deploy on certain missions. Fixed certain issues that resulted in Helldivers drowning in deep water upon landing. Fixed issue where Hellpod space optimization made ammo go above capacity. Fixed issue where stalkers became very visible in fog. Mines are now pingable for better coordination with your team. Receiving friend requests now gives the player a pop-up. Improved readability of prompts and hints displayed in the tutorial and onboarding. Total experience is now visible in the career tab. Added better support for ultra-wide monitors by fixing the aspect ratio of menus to 16:9 and adding a setting to control the width of the HUD. Keybinds bound to numpad will no longer reset upon restart. Fixed inconsistent audio when headphones are plugged into the DualSense controller while playing on PC. Playing rock, paper, scissors in front of the ship no longer causes player to fall out into space. APW-1 anti-material rifle and MG206 heavy machine gun now trigger hit markers while scoped in. Secondary weapon no longer remains in the ballistic shield ADS position after using a stem with the ballistic shield backpack equipped. Open text chat is now rebindable. Explosive weapons such as R36 Eruptor, CB9 exploding crossbow, GP31 grenade pistol no longer pulls players inward from the blast. Disabled the squad invites during the tutorial, which caused an overlap in the UI. Fixed primary and secondary weapons overlapping on the character model and the armory. Fixed UI elements during first boot are cut off on a 21:9 aspect ratio monitor. Report and block player is now visible in the squad menu. Dead scavengers now stop screaming for help if killed while calling in reinforcements. Fixed anti-air cannons showing up as stratagem scramblers and danger warnings. Known issues. Various issues involving friend invites and crossplay. Friend requests cannot be accepted when the requesting player changed their username before the request was accepted. Cross-platform friend invites might not show up in the friend request tab. Players cannot unfriend players befriended via friend code. Players cannot unblock players that were not in their friends list beforehand. Damage over time effects may only apply when dealt by the host. We expect to have this fixed in the next patch. Reinforcement may not be available for some players who join a game in progress. Helldiver may be unable to stand up from crouching when surrounded by enemies. Game may crash if the host leaves while dead and rejoins the same play session. Game may crash if the player changes the text language while on a mission. Players may experience delays in medals and super credits payouts. Enemies that bleed out do not progress personal orders and eradicate missions. Scopes on some weapons, such as the anti-material rifle, are slightly misaligned. Arc weapons sometimes behave inconsistently and sometimes misfire. Spear's targeting is inconsistent, making it hard to lock on to larger enemies. Stratagem beam might attach itself to an enemy, but it will deploy to its original location. Explosions do not break your limbs except for when you fly into a rock. Area around automaton detector tower makes blue stratagems such as the hellbomb bounce and be repelled when trying to call them down close to the tower. Planet liberation reaches 100% at the end of every defend mission. So that is all of the patch notes. Please let me know what you guys think of the new patch and any issues you are still experiencing in the comments section. Again, if you found this video helpful and informative to you, don't forget to leave a like and please do consider subscribing to the channel. With that, I appreciate you for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.